Let me tell you about a time I nearly got attacked by a Russian. Okay, now before I get into the story, I want to clear one thing up. I am not suggesting that Russians are angry in general. I know a lot of Russians. My wife and I both do. And we are friends with several Russians from our time in Moldova. Really nice people. This guy just wasn't one of them. So this story takes place in January of 2019. It was a cold January night, and I was by myself driving in my car in Moldova, and I was on my way home. Now, traffic in Moldova is a sight to behold for sure. It can get crazy in the capital city of Chisinau. There's about 1 million people, and the city is not very large. It's about the size of Champaign-Urbana, so any of my local friends know exactly where I'm talking about. Imagine 1 million people there. So I'm in traffic, and suddenly traffic gets congested, and I mean standstill. I am not moving at all. We're just bumper to bumper traffic, and the vehicle I had was a manual. So bumper to bumper traffic, on the clutch and the brake and the gas, all kind of simultaneously, and slightly going uphill. Traffic begins to move about 1 car length every 30 seconds. Talk about frustrating. Finally, after going, stopping, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here for a second because I'm sick of having to balance the clutch and the gas. So I'm just gonna sit here for a second and wait for the cars to get a couple car lengths. And the car behind me honks, and I'm like, yeah, they can wait, like we're literally going 10 feet. It's not a big deal. And then I thought I felt a little push. I wasn't sure, but then I looked at my rearview mirror and I couldn't see his headlights. I thought, well, that's strange. And then he just lays on the horn. What is happening right now? And so I let off my brake so that I can start to accelerate. And as soon as I let off my brake, I begin moving forward, uphill. He's pushing me. Like, what is happening? So traffic at that point had cleared a couple more cars, so I drove up about 40 feet, look at my rearview mirror, and it's a nice Audi. It's a real nice car. And he is just sitting there back there, laying on his horn still. I'm like, what is this guy's problem? I'm just sitting there, I'm stuck in traffic. He speeds up to me right behind me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like white knuckling it on the steering wheel, like what is happening? And I'm just sitting there, and then my driver's side door opens. Incidentally, that's when I found out that I don't have automatic locks in the car. The dude is standing there at my door with the door open, screaming at me in Russian. I only knew it was Russian because I had learned enough Romanian to differentiate between the two. Now, I only know like 3 words in Russian: da, нет, spasiba. So I had no idea what he was saying, but I knew one thing: he was angry. And he's yelling at me, and he's pointing at his black Audi, and he's screaming at me, and I'm freaking out, and I'm like, what is happening? And then he grabs my jacket, and he tries to start pulling me out of my car. Now in that moment, I had what I think is fight or flight, because I had this urge to be like, okay, dude, let's go. Not that that would have been a good idea at all, but I had this urge to like get out and square off with him. And it's such a dumb idea. But then I thought, that's stupid. You need to get out of here as quick as you can. At that point, traffic had cleared a little bit. Here I am, buckled in. He's pulling on my jacket with my door open, and the only other thing I could think to do was to floor it. So I put my pedal to the metal and I just took off, and I was able to drive about 30 feet, and I'm behind more traffic, and here comes this guy again. He's behind me. I'm like, are you kidding me? So the first thing I did was lock the door. He gets out of the car because, again, we're in bumper to bumper traffic, not moving at all. He gets out and he starts kicking my car, and he's screaming at me, and he's kicking my car. What is happening? My heart is racing. I'm freaked out. I'm like, I've got to get out of here. Hit pedal to the metal again. I off-road it, get off to the side of the road. I'm in dirt. It's dark. I can't see where I'm going. I don't know where I am. And I just keep driving, and I'm driving fast. And I get out of there, and he doesn't follow me, and I am shaken. I pull over at this gas station, and I'm sitting there just shaking, like, what just happened? So I immediately call a friend there in Moldova, and he says, his first words after I told him what happened was, why didn't you call the police? And I said, I didn't know the number. Like, I had no idea. It wasn't 911. And so he immediately gives me that number and says, if that ever happens again, you need to call the police. Side note about that, I have no idea how much that would help because there's quite a bit of corruption in Moldova. I love the country. There's a lot of corruption. So I got home, told Christina what happened. I was shaken up. I didn't even want to drive anymore. In fact, the next day I didn't drive. The day after, I finally said, if I don't drive again now, I'm probably not going to drive again in Moldova. So I just got in and I just went for it, and it was fine. I ended up talking to another friend who had spent some time in Russia, and I told him what had happened, and he said road rage is very common in Russia. So, moral of the story, you know, I was thinking about this as I knew I was going to tell this story today. I was thinking, like, what was the moral? And then it hit me. When people try to drag you out of the car in life, when people try to get you distracted, when people try to pick a fight, when people try to take your eyes off of what you're trying to do, when people try to disrupt your focus, don't take the bait. Don't do it. Don't take the bait. When people try to drag you out of life by your coat, don't take the bait. Stay focused, stay on point, stay on mission, because all they're offering is a distraction. And you don't want to get tied up doing something you did not intend to do. And worse, they could take you down with them. So that's my story, how I nearly got attacked by a Russian in Moldova. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.